So in my time away, I enjoyed not being dragged in the comments on social media. That was a nice vacation. And sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're hurtful. They've been helpful today in pointing out that really curious decision by me to wear the Rays jersey. I didn't think that went through.
It was definitely a choice.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was a choice.
The choice was I need shirts that are a little bit boxier because of my current frame.
Right.
And Rays, it feels like an odd. I am not standing in solidarity with what's going on with Wander Franco. I am just happy Dan's not here, so I don't have to formulate that much of an opinion on it. I saw all the.
You're just wearing a shirt, Mike. That's it.
Yeah, but I'm wearing a shirt on like the worst day to wear this shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad that I put myself through this. I played myself. I don't have a lot on the Wander Franco stuff. The internet, if you search Wander Franco, you can get down to the bottom of it. It is alleged, and there are some pretty incriminating photos on the internet, that he was grooming a 14-year-old. And this what started as Twitter, well, it's not Twitter anymore, X innuendo and social media hearsay appears to be a legit controversy now, as it's prompted an investigation. Wander Franco not playing in the meantime, and a terrible day for me to be wearing this shirt.
But just to be clear, you're not supporting the Rays in any way.
No,
you're
it's
just
a way,
fat.
I'm just fat.
Yes.
Folks,
Okay.
I'm just fat. Not supporting
It's
the Rays.
just a black shirt that you had in your closet, and you were like, hey, black shirt today? Why
Yeah.
not? First day out of vacation, got to wear the black shirt.
Black baseball jersey, boxy, came back from Greece, in actual Greece, not the country, and I picked the wrong shirt.
And what they can't see are the 11s you got on, those green guys. Salute to you,
Snake
sir.
skins.
You stepped out. Hey, yes, sir,
you.
ski.
That's as flexible as I can get. I think I need to look into chair yoga.
Yeah, do some chair yoga.
Chair yoga.
Right, real quick.
What chair yoga looked like was just BP warm-ups. It just looked like stretching out the fingers.
Show us some moves, Billy. You're in a chair right now.
Well, okay, so we did, what did we do yesterday? I don't remember my teacher's name, or I'd tell you, but we did some of these hand things, and then we did one that was like this, and then you went over to the side. Yep. And then we did some where we were up here, and we went all the way down. You breathe in, you breathe out.
You
So,
get to the floor? Or?
I think
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could
it
get
seems
to
like
the floor.
standard stretching.
Well, I have a
though.
low, I have a
chair
low
yoga's
couch.
just
yeah.
getting out
Right.
of bed.
Well, it
a heady
was
play.
it was only a 10-minute chair yoga class. You know what I mean? I didn't do like a 60-minute class.
I'm into this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Finally.
think
What
this
is
is the
wrong
most
with
efficient
that?
way to do this. I think this is great.
It's a nice
Billy
stretch
is not
bef-
old.
It was
That's
a
why.
stretch
He needs to
before
go out and
bed.
go do stuff.
It's enough to be
Okay.
able to
He ain't
casually.
young.
You do this not really to get in shape. You do this for the social capital of being able to say in conversations, I've recently gotten into yoga.
No, I didn't even intend to share that with you guys today, but we ended up there, so here we are. You know what? I could have done nothing last night, or I could have done chair yoga.
Exactly.
And I did chair yoga.
You can't be like, oh, Mike, you should go work out. But then Billy's like, oh, I did chair yoga. And well, not like that. You can't have
I'm
those-
not judging. I'm not judging.
I'm
Not
saying
you.
We
this-
discovered
Back
chair
row,
yoga
But
from
Mike,
Mike.
but Mike
Peanut
works out, though.
gallery.
That's the caveat. Mike goes to the gym.
And how's
and
that
lifts.
working out for him?
It's not a caveat.
Right.
I'm
my
He's
God.
wearing a
I am
Rays jersey.
clinically
I mean-
depressed.
You shouldn't take Ozempic.
There's
let me
other
just tell
Fat
you.
shaming and exercise shaming
Thank
are
you.
colleagues.
Billy, I'm
Nobody's
glad-
fat shaming or exercise shaming anybody. It's
If
just,
we
hey,
had an
go out and do
HR
something.
department, they'd
Billy,
have
I'm
a
glad
field
you
day
said
with
that
this
because,
segment.
Mike, I am concerned
They
about you and
would've quit by
Ozempic.
now.
Yeah.
Well, I am reading a story right now, this morning, out of the New York Post,
Yeah.
where someone was saying I was suicidal on Ozempic.
Yeah,
And so
I mean, that's the far end of some bad. I mean, look, every
I'm not
every
listen,
prescription has side effects.
I'm not certain it's worth it, to be honest with you.
Well,
I mean, you're a good-looking guy. You're
appreciate
fine. Like
that.
people get, you get fatter as you get older. It's just the way life works.
I appreciate it, but I shouldn't have gained 30
Experience.
I shouldn't have gained 30 pounds in the time that I've been on this. It just doesn't compute. And whenever I put my mind to it, I do lose weight. I understand I've gotten yet a year older, but no, this is a legitimate side effect that I'm undergoing. And it's been worth it, by the way. Talk to your doctor. But if you undergo the clinical depression and anxiety that I had, and I tried years to avoid it, and I never got the solution that I needed. And Lexapro has been a wonder drug for me. That's just me. But it also comes with side effects, like most things do. And the unfortunate one is one that I can live with, but when I run my head up against a wall and trying to lose the weight that I've gained on it, I consulted a doctor, and this was the choice that I landed on, Ozempic.
And I'd like to also point out that you get a lot of slack online, but they don't see you behind the microphone or outside of it. I had a great bout of depression whenever I first came aboard with you guys, and you were one of the only people that reach out and help me deal with that. So I salute you for trying, and I always got your back, brother.
Well, I appreciate that, Juju. But for on-air purposes, I'm just the van. Okay? So let's just keep it that way. Screw you for revealing that. I tried to look.
What a good quality.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. I want to just reveal bad qualities and then lament why people hate me. That's just my thing.
You call them Mike. That's why they hate you.
I think
Can't say that.
Sorry.
I think it's. I don't have a thing, and I wanted to make it my thing. What up? All the great broadcasters.
You can make questionable jerseys your thing.
Yeah. That's a real bad job out of me.
John Rocker tomorrow. What are we thinking?
I have a band jersey section in my closet. It's just jerseys that I can never wear again. I do.
But you could just give them away or throw them away.
I'm gonna just give away a Deshaun Watson Texans jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gave away my Spacey and Space hoodie. I mean, what am I going to do with that?
You gave away your fandom, dude. Give away the jersey. Like,
Do you have a Cleat Keller Speedo or something in your closet?
I have. So when the Antonio Brown thing was funny for the Raiders, there was a brief window of time where it was funny.
Really small window.
The small, very
maybe
tight
like
window.
72 hours.
Like a Nathan Rourke dart of a tight window.
It was like
Bennett.
just when he burnt his feet
Yes.
on hot turf before
Well, it
we
wasn't
got
on
into
turf.
anything else.
It was cryo.
There was a helmet thing
Oh, yeah,
too.
that's right.
The
yeah.
helmet thing, there was a brief window there where it was hilarious. And I went to an auction site and I got an autographed Raiders Antonio Brown jersey, thinking that this is going to be a great gag jersey, and it's still in the wrapping. So I think Rays, for the time being, probably should be relegated to that part of the closet. This is in no way a stance on what's going on with the Rays. It is more a stance on my physical body type right now. That is all this is. And I'm an open book, and I'm just being honest with you. I picked this jersey because it's black and I'm fat.
we knew that.
Well, thank you. I will take you on this journey with me. We got to chair yoga because I wanted to ask you about cold showers being a quick fix. And I've seen the free thinker movement tell me all the great benefits to cold plunges, so much so that I started getting IG ads for cold plunges. And I was always told that going from hot to cold is bad for you. But
That's Cuban myth, by the way.
No, that's for Pyrex dishes. I think for people, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's also for your dessert dinner from just horrible bosses.
It's also not the free thinker movement. It's more just like science. So
Okay, you're playing right into stereotypes that you've laid out for yourself.
I'm just telling you.
The free thinker movement is just science, is something that a free thinker would say. Just fly.
I've heard that the cold plunges and the cold showers, it does something to your vagus nerve. Which reminded me that the Big Ten championship game may move to Las Vegas.
Well done.
That was smooth.
That is Big Ten country. Resident Big Ten
Spelled
expert.
the same way. Not really.
Resident Big Ten expert, Lucy.
Do you have a vagus nerve, Lucy? No. Like the nerve that makes you want to go to Vegas.
Oh my God,
Not the
ew.
one that we all have.
No. You can do 36 hours in Vegas, but once you get to hour 37, you have to leave.
Yeah.
Would you
That's
travel to Vegas?
Depends if
for
you're
a
up,
Big
though.
Ten
By the way,
I mean-
same rule applies to the Atlanta airport.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot of
the thing
lounges,
is,
though.
Iowa will never make it. And Iowa should not go to Vegas right now. That is very bad timing.
As someone that just displayed really bad timing, it's terrible timing to announce this.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're going to go play our conference championship in Vegas. By the way, all of Iowa's offensive players are betting the under on their own games.
Why? Because they were at practice.
Because they were at practice. It's
And
fine.
then they saw the playbook, and then they realized unders are the
Fair
way
play.
to go. It's an odd choice.
It's weird. I mean, I get it. You want to include the new Western members of the conference, but I think the announcement, it's not an official announcement, but right now might not be the best time. A lot of people haven't put it together, but I have been putting it together for people.
How many in your lifetime, because they've done away with divisions, how many Iowa Big Ten championships in Vegas do you think you'll actually get to experience?
Zero. Confidently
You're taking the under.
zero.
Getting rid of divisions hurts Iowa the most, probably,
Yeah.
right?
Were they in leaders or legends?
We were a legend, I believe. Those were great times, by the way. Legends and leaders were awesome, and I really think we should bring that back.
But the Big Ten moving the championship game is kind of a slap in the face to its core fan base, right? Because Indy was kind of the iconic spot for it for so long, that it was a centrally located place and a pretty good place to visit for a game.
Has there ever been
It's not
stadium.
Vegas.
Has there
though.
ever
I
been a
mean-
good Big Ten
But
title
it's so
game?
expensive to go to Las
yes,
Vegas.
Iowa lost one last minute, and it was good for everyone else, but not for me.
But the Big Ten title game is usually
It's usually
flat
pretty
track
bad.
against someone that's headed to the
Well, the Big
playoffs.
Ten is boring. I mean, outside of a couple
Speak
of
for
teams,
yourself.
no, it's boring.
Not
I mean,
anymore.
Come on.
Not anymore.
I have a
Stu,
great
when is
time.
the last Big Ten game you watched?
I have no Ohio State and Michigan. Whenever they play that game every year.
USC,
The game,
UCLA.
Okay.
USC,
If
UCLA.
that's the only Big Ten game you watch, then I don't know. Like, you should have an overinflated sense of how
Yeah.
good the Big Ten is.
The Big House, the Horseshoe. I know them all. It's the Big Ten. It's boring. You know,
I've
Camp
been-
Randall. I mean, jeez.
It's a regional thing, and I've generally
Camp
avoided the
Randall's
Big Ten because the style of play is not super appealing, and there always seems to be a bigger game. But it's impossible to ignore now because of the teams that they brought in, and that Fallout Boy tune is just so damn catchy.
Yeah. You have to kind of pay attention to the Big Ten at this point because we're at a place in the sport where you have two conferences pretty much. That's it. And the Big Ten is one of them. And you just have to
And some
embrace it.
independence.
And you know what, Stu? I think if you
By
watch...
default, you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. I think if you watch, you would have a good time in the sense of like, wow, this is weird and really uncomfortable to watch. And it's so funny. And I think you would love it. You don't know joy, like seeing your team win 7-3, but not scoring a touchdown. You don't
See,
know
I-
that feeling.
7-3 the hard way.
I don't have an allegiance to any sort of college team.
Yes, you
It's-
do. Northwestern.
yeah,
You're
you don't have
pledged to the
No,
Big Ten.
no, 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 no.
That's tough.
No,
That is really
no,
tough
That's
right
tough.
now.
Yeah.
Bad year to have.
Tougher
Run
now
away
than
that
ever.
jersey
You were.
tomorrow, yeah.
Not just the losing.
That's
I mean,
versus the world shirt
You
tomorrow.
were wearing
Stu.
that hat after the Pat thing went down.
I was, yes. I was very excited. They were 1-0 internationally last year.
They were.
It's the only game they won. I just don't like I get the allure of the Big Ten, but I don't have an allegiance to a school. And so for me, I just want exciting teams who play an exciting brand of football.
Well, brother. the
And
Big
outside of
Ten-
Ohio State, there really isn't one in the Big Ten.
Not
You haven't
yet.
seen Iowa's punters. You would love them. You would love them.
One. You know him as the lead analyst for MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. He's got a new podcast, Offside, with Taylor Twellman. And from recent IG posts, I can verify that he does not skip back day. Do you have a rower at home? Very,
Yeah, I just sit in the bathtub for about 2 hours a day, and I just row. That's all I do. Just row.
very form-fitting golf polos. I must. You're a pretty good golfer, from what I hear. Word has gotten around that Taylor Twellman's actually one of the better celeb golfers.
Yeah, we don't want to tell a lot of people that though, because there's a thing called sandbagging, and it works in your favor. So the more people that know, Michael, that blows my cover.
Attaboy. What's the handicap you're trotting out there with? Like the fake
Oh,
handicap.
so Stu,
I have follow-ups. No,
No,
because I've done this to friends where I tell them I'm like a 15, I'm really like a 10, and then I sandbag and I win a lot of money. You know, so I'm proud of you.
I play as a 0, but it's probably a +2, Stugotz.
Jesus.
No, he's really good. The obliques just come from playing golf. He's a monster off the tee. Taylor, there is a lot to get into with you right now with the world of soccer and of course MLS. The Leagues Cup has been brilliant. We have keepers doing magic tricks during penalty kicks. We have accusation.
That seems illegal.
I don't know. All right, let's talk about this.
What do you mean magic tricks?
There is a keeper for Tigres, El Patron, that had a whole routine built out for PKs. He was miming, and I don't know where he got the yarn, but it appeared he had at least 6 yards of yarn in his mouth, and he pulled it out before a PK. He also pretended to do like a DUI roadside check, I think, on the final PK that ended up doing him in. What's been your favorite? There have been many. There's been, I mean, it's been bonkers from we have to put out a public apology because we've likened MLS media to Hitler's propagandists, to accusations that the entire contest is rigged, the competition is rigged, to Tata Martino telling people basically shut up, you agreed to this. And you have Messi making his debut in the country all at the same time. It's been a wonderful tournament. We're down to the semifinals. I am already missing it.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Honestly, when you think about it, and you guys know this better than anyone, is that when it comes to rivalries, you can't make it up. You can't create things out of nothing. It's U.S. versus Mexico. It's Liga MX versus Major League Soccer. That's always there. That's at the root of it. and you needed something to jumpstart this. Now, it's always going to be there at the national team level. And even when I played, which wasn't that long ago, Major League Soccer franchises were aspiring to be as good as Liga MX clubs. Well, now they're there, right? And so then on top of that, you throw gasoline on the fire in the name of Messi. That jumpstarts the world's attention onto this tournament. Then you have the mimes of the goalkeepers. You then have Liga MX blaming the referees and VAR, which, by the way, it was a correct decision. Yeah, it may have taken a little bit longer than all of us wanted it to, but it's animosity, it's anxiety, it's the way this is working. And honestly, I've loved every second of it, Mike, because of that. You cannot manufacture something out of this rivalry. It's there, it's innately there. Both leagues respect each other, but both leagues want to beat the absolute snot out of each other. And we've gotten that. You got 152 goals in the group stage. And then in the round of 32, 50% of the games went to a penalty kick shootout. It's had drama from the opening day, but the opening day had Messi and that storybook free kick against Cruz Azul, and he's taken this to a whole nother level.
It's a made-for-TV competition, and I think it already has more cachet than the prestigious, I use air quotes for that, CONCACAF Champions League, because I think production value has a lot to do with it. Social currency has a lot to do with it. But Leagues Cup, it's certainly going to be around for a while, but I can't help but feel like Liga MX negotiated a bad deal here, because it does seem like a tough break. We have these wonderful pictures that get aggregated every 10 weeks about Monterrey Stadium, and you have legendary venues inside of Liga MX, and yet we don't get that atmosphere. I do hope it's something that gets revisited. Liga MX, I know you're working closely with MLS and you're part of the Apple broadcast, but it does seem like it's an unfair deal that they agreed to.
Yeah, I mean, they agreed to it. I also think this is a partnership for years to come, Mike. So what we see in 2023, I don't know what we're going to see in 2024, let alone 2025, right? So you've got the FIFA Club World Cup coming, you've got Copa America coming, then you've got the World Cup. So the next 3 summers are convoluted in different ways. But this is a partnership. I would be stunned if this thing doesn't evolve. But Liga MX presidents complaining about it now, all I'm going to say is you agreed to the deal. Tata Martino, the manager of Inter Miami, he said the same thing. They, as much as Major League Soccer, want to tap into the Liga MX group. Liga MX want to tap into the fan bases for their clubs here in the United States. So it's not as if this is 70% one way, 30% the other. But I would be stunned if this doesn't evolve, because I honestly believe that now with Jeopardy on the line, you've got the largest prize money ever, 3 CONCACAF Champions Cup places on the line in the last 2 games, and ultimately winning a trophy. I think now Liga MX and their presidents look at it and say, hold on a minute. We don't want to lose this thing. We've only got 1 team in the Final Four. Let's revisit this so it's more, you play at our place, we play at your place. Even more so, Mike, you could give the Mexican clubs their own home bases in the United States for worst case scenario, and that would help their travel. This thing will evolve, but this thing has blown up a lot faster than a lot of us thought it would.
Taylor, Australia and France, greatest shootout you've ever seen?
That
top 2 for me.
That didn't involve yarn. That didn't involve yarn.
Yeah, it was so good because of the drama in between each penalty taken. We saw some good penalties. We saw some bad penalties. But the fact that Australia, Stugotz, took it to France and got to that point when all of us thought there's no way France loses this game, let alone there's no way they don't win this game by multiple goals. And yet here we are talking about one of the greatest shootouts in men or women's history, and Australia now advances. It was awesome.
It's going to be, I feel like it would shock the world if Australia pulled it off, but I also feel like the world is probably, outside of the other 3 countries, rooting for Australia. Is that, how big of an upset would it be if Australia pulls this off?
Massive.
Really?
Massive upset. Massive. Just because of what you just said, I think naturally we could all find reasons for England to win, for Spain to win, who was my favorite going into this tournament. And for those of you listening and watching, unbelievable article about how the Barcelona women's team did exactly what the Barcelona men did to develop players. And guess what? They're ultimately going to be in the final. They're still my favorite in this. But yes, the sentimental pick here, the long shot, is Australia. It's in their backyard in certain, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing is lined up for them, Stugotz. They are 100% For the English, the Swedish, and the Spanish, it's their respective countries. Everybody else would love to see Australia pull this off.
We've got the semifinals coming up in the Leagues Cup, and while the perception is that Inter Miami and Messi are just running through this league, his team has been in jeopardy. He needed a worldie of an own goal and a dramatic flair in Dallas to win his lone road game. And playing at Philadelphia is a really – what I'm trying to argue is here is not a given that we get the dream final of Monterrey versus Inter Miami. That would make everybody salivate. What do you make out of one of the controversies that stem from this is the allegations of price gouging going on with Philadelphia? This is a new competition that even season ticket holders have to buy additional tickets to, and that pricing is being based on demand. However, if this kind of price increase would have happened in, say, Europe, supporters would have ransacked the offices. We're talking about incredible. We're all too accustomed to capitalism doing capitalism things here in the country. Where, keep in mind, Europe shut down the Super League. What do you make of these price increases, and is it fair to actually come down on franchises like Philadelphia?
Well, it's interesting, Mike. If I'm not mistaken, Philadelphia allowed their supporters first shot at the tickets, and they were not going to move this game. There were reports online that they were looking at the link to play the game at the link. No way. No way. This thing's going to be played at Subaru Park with the bridge, the Delaware River in Chester, Pennsylvania. They want this. They've earned this. And quite honestly, why would you move? They've only lost one in the last 23, 24 games at home. It will be a home field advantage. I look forward to the atmosphere because Philadelphia throws snowballs at Santa. And I want Messi to come out of the locker room, and I want to hear boos. I want to hear the real Philadelphia sports fan show up. I think you get that. I really do. Now, the question you asked, I don't know how to answer that, because if I'm in the same boat and someone says to me, hey, you're going to make X number of dollars more because Messi's in your stadium, Mike, I don't know how to answer that as a human. I really don't know how to answer that. I feel for Inter Miami supporters. I do, but I don't know how to answer that because I don't know if I was put in the same situation, I would make a different decision.
Well, aggregators tend to point out that season tickets for Bayern Munich and Manchester City, those are $500, and single games are going for $500. It is a bit of a different situation when you have these soccer-specific stadiums here in the States being capped in the early 20s. You would have like these are ticket prices at a premium, and I think that's largely absent from the conversation. I do want to talk to you. Saudi Arabia and MLS Twitter, there's a little rivalry brewing already. And Saudi Arabia, if we're just talking about social media metrics, they just closed on Neymar. $99 million is the transfer fee. Not a lot of takers for Neymar. Barcelona can get in the mix all they want, but it's too hard for them to actually register a new player. This was really the only place that he would go. MLS's window closed, and that's not an MLS window where they can play fast and loose with the rules. It's a FIFA window. Saudi Arabia in the prime position. However, couldn't help but notice this is a 2-year deal with Neymar. That seems calculated, Taylor Twellman. And we know that Ronaldo is there, but Ronaldo, at the very crux of his breakup, his nasty breakup with his representation, was the decision to go to Saudi over Sporting Kansas City. Are we 2 years away from these megastars at close to their primes of their careers, like Neymar is close enough to the prime of his career, doing what Messi did, and that's choosing the United States over Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Neymar got $380 million over 2 years net. So he has to take that, because if no one else wants him in Western Europe and he can't come to Major League Soccer in the present time, why would you not do that? Now, from what I've gathered over the last 24 hours, the 3-year deal was on the table. He took 2 years. I don't find that ironic. When's the World Cup coming here? 2026. So I would be stunned because Neymar wants to play in Major League Soccer. He wants to play in the United States. I would be stunned, quite honestly, if he doesn't use that year before the World Cup, at least a half a season, to play himself into that. So it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. What Ronaldo does, I don't know that. But Michael, Stugotz, you guys are going to love this. I said it on Apple TV during the All-Star game against Arsenal. You know what the next All-Star game I would do? Saudi Arabia All-Stars versus Major League Soccer All-Stars. And I would put it in the Rose Bowl.
That's good.
I would put it in the Rose Bowl and have Messi versus Ronaldo. That one last time, if you don't get it, I would tap into this because it is a real interesting topic among the both leagues and how they're going about their business. Messi's lit MLS on fire. You now have younger players here in Major League Soccer versus the older players in Saudi Arabia, but both leagues are now on the radar of the world market that they weren't 6, 8, 12 months ago. I would play into the Messi Ronaldo thing in 2 seconds. I don't know if you see Ronaldo here. I would be shocked if you don't see Neymar here in 2 seasons.
Well, that's the economy around Messi. Is that it's changed the conversation to where MLS is now being linked, and I hated the reporting that was being done around Mbappe and
It
Neymar.
was buddy, awful, awful. Even the Messi thing, like it was like Inter Miami was 3rd or 4th in line when, quite honestly, and even my conversations with Jorge Mas when we made that public, it was Barcelona or Major League Soccer. Saudi Arabia really wasn't part of the landscape, and yet the reporting was Saudi Arabia 1, Barcelona 2, Turkey 3, China 4, Major League Soccer 5, when none of that was true.
Yeah, but it is a real thing, and it's not just a real thing to Saudi fans and MLS fans. Rio Ferdinand actually had quotes, interesting quotes, saying, "What makes the U.S. so great?" And he was making the morality play, which I thought it was interesting that he dipped his toes into those waters. Taylor, enjoying your coverage for MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Your podcast conversation that you just mentioned with Jorge Mas, I thought was really revelatory, down to the Cavani revelation that he made, that they essentially had a deal in place. Looking forward to seeing what you have on deck with that podcast. Make sure to check it out, and please, more IG stories from a view from the back. And I know what I say. Yep. I know how that sounds, but trust me, the killer calves and the obliques with the form-fitting golf polos, it's working for you, pal. It's really working for you.
Stugotz, don't tell anyone my handicap, otherwise you're dead.
I won't. I promise you. Just don't use it against me.